What's up, guys? Welcome back. It is, of course, yours truly, Light here again, and today we are going to be reviewing a hardware wallet for a change, and I actually got a free review copy from SafePal to review their X1 hardware wallet. And in matter of fact, I have reviewed their Web3 wallet as well. Must have been 4 years ago, though. And I'm working on a new top 5 to top 10 list of best Web3 wallets. So in case you don't want to miss that video out, make sure you're going to be subscribing and hitting that bell notification button right now. But let's talk about the actual SafePal X1 hardware wallet. So one of the things out of the bat that makes it a very significant potential buy is the actual price. So that excluded, it is only $70. And as of right now, when you look at the competition, you have like Ledger, which I believe their cheapest model is being priced at like $80. And I obviously explained in a million other videos why Ledger sucks. And then there's obviously a lot of other wallets which we have reviewed on the channel, like Secux, we had LIPAL, we had Gold Shell, we had CypherRock. And a lot of those wallets, in matter of fact, are above $100 most of the time. And yes, there are some special discounts that actually happen. But in terms of finding a good, decent wallet on an affordable price, this must be like top two options that you currently have, as inflation has increased the prices as well. As like in the beginning, I believe like a lot of these like ledgers and the early treasures were priced at around $40, but a lot of the newer models are definitely on the higher side of the pricing. So this is kind of like the meta right now. Now, in terms of the actual wallet, as you can hear, I'm like pushing the buttons right now. What I like about this wallet is the fact that it has this old school button mechanism, which is very reminiscent of like, your old calculators from the 90s and obviously the first cell phones that came out. It's a very similar feeling. I've always been a big critic of these touch screens, as the problem with the touchscreens fundamentally is that if they get a one crack, they might get totally broken. And if there's any water coming in, they also might be totally broken, as that is almost impossible to fix. It's not like you can just replace the screen or anything. That is not possibility with touchscreen devices. So you basically have to buy a new one. So touchscreen has a lot of downsides, and one of the other problems if you're wearing gloves, you're in the winter or something like that, whatever you're wearing gloves for whatever reason, you're not able to fuck with that with your, because you have your fingerprint and all that stuff. So that's a very problematic on touchscreens as well. So I really like this analog style interface. It also has arrow keys on 5, 0, and 9, which allows you to navigate throughout the menu systems and everything like that. So that's another one. Obviously, there's a couple of sheets that come along with the bundle when you buy it, and then there's obviously a USB cable for charging that is always expected, and I think there's like a sticker or something also included. Now let's talk about now that the kind of the unboxing is out of the way, let's talk about some of the other specs on here in terms of the specific details. So first of all, if you're going to be buying two, that is going to be free global shipping. So maybe you're buying one for your son or your cousin or your friend. Now is a good time to also get Christmas presents for your friends. Maybe you want to introduce a family member into crypto. This is a very accessible, free, and easy to use wallet. Based on like interfaces and the way you interact with a lot of these wallets that I have done. As you guys know, I do receive review copies from pretty much every single manufacturer out there. LiPals, Trezors, all of them have basically sent me free review copies for their wallets. And I'm not like paid to do these reviews. I have affiliate links for all of these companies, even for Ledger, which I don't like. So and there's no bias on here, me saying that this is, yeah, like one of the top 3 maybe, or top 2 in terms of the user interface. I don't think there's anything like super technical about it. And setting it up is very easy. You just basically boot it up and choose a seed phrase. Either you import it or you're going to be creating a new one. I always recommend creating a new one, obviously. And then you're just going to link it into the actual application on your phone. And so once again, you get two for free shipping, and that can include any type of combination of any other wallets that they have, obviously, on their thing. There's also the S1 hardware wallet, and I think that also includes the Cypher and the Pro hardware wallet, and also the layer cases. And there's a 1-year warranty, which is not too much in my opinion, but it is what it is. Different laws in different places. And there's also 24/7 customer support in terms of the problems. And here are some other bundles that come along with. There's a backup bundle, so that is $132 for two. Classic bundle, which includes the actual metal key thing, and also case for it. Case is always good to have, as this is not waterproof device. So there's a basic bundle, but that is not giving you free shipping. And then there's the holders bundle, which also gives with the Cypher thing. So a lot of different options over here, guys. This one's probably the worst one, as it's not, giving you free shipping. And basically, here's a bit of a comparison between the other models. SafePal S1, I believe, is their first model that they ever came up with. There's a bit of a obviously different security chips. Don't ask me about which is the newest one and all that stuff. I'm not sure. This one obviously has Bluetooth, so that's going to be something that you will be needing on your phone. I know that some people use very, very archaic phones basically to increase security, but you will be needing Bluetooth basically to set it up. Initially, I'm pretty sure that you do not to open up and view your funds and all that stuff. I don't think you need it constantly. Don't quote me on that. And then there's a bit of an explanation of the material. So this is basically all plastic. There's no metal parts in this one. It's quite lightweight, but I think you're going to be hearing it if it actually drops to the ground from your back or something like that. But that's kind of maybe the benefit of metal things, that they're a bit more heavier. You're going to be feeling if they're going to be dropping out of your pocket or something like that. This one also has a bit of a smaller battery compared to the other two models. So if you're like higher battery, but obviously, you're not going to be needing this 24/7, in my opinion. I believe a lot of people who do day trading are not going to be using their cold wallet. And there's a support for 200 blockchains and unlimited tokens. More about that. That's a bit more like, okay, a bit of an anecdotal thing there. And 12 buttons and a D-pad. And obviously these other ones have D-pads too. So they're not actually, I think these have like a full color screens. So they are kind of like a good combination of analog and not a touch screen, but unlike a good screen. So I have not tried these auto models, but I think that they are probably pretty decent models too. And I'm actually going to I'm pretty sure the X1 might be the earliest model, because the encryption is EAL6. So it would make sense that maybe the X1 was the first one, but don't quote me on that. And this is also open source, by the way. So that's a very good thing, because we know it's double-sided. People can create hacks for it, obviously, because it's open source, more easier perhaps. But also you can verify everything about it, so you don't have to worry about. Ledger is not totally open source, and neither is Trezor, as far as I remember. Only portion of I think the software is open source, but not the device itself or something like that. I can't remember top of my head. And this is being manufactured in China, and the team is also in China. That is we would say this orange flag. I don't like when the companies are based in America, in the European Union, or in China, because those don't really care about. They want to be. Switzerland is very good because they care about privacy, and there's a lot of strong privacy laws. So it's kind of problematic sometimes when there's some legislation which might, they never can really backdoor your wallet in it per se, but they could do it if like they rolled out an update or something like that. And they talk about the Bluetooth over here. There's a pin, and yeah, we're talking about the multi-button here. And the screen is pretty good. You can change the brightness of it. There's a couple of different options here. And then there is the assets, which we have to talk about next. And there's different languages: English, Francais, Españoles, Italiano, Portuguese, Korean. That is China, Chinese Hama. 안녕하세요, that's Korean, Privyet, Russia, and then Japanese, konnichiwa. And I think this is traditional Chinese. So a lot of different options, basically all the main languages that you basically need. And then there's obviously the actual application, which we're going to be talking about in a second as well. Then there's also the extension, which you can use, which is probably, aside from the actual application, something you also might want to use. And here is a bit of a comparison of the prices once again. Trezor Safe is $79, that's $149. And this is interfaces by USB-C. and Bluetooth. So two different options here. And they also have monochrome, but I'm gonna say Ledger Nano X. That's a horrible thing to use. Better battery, but continuous with 2 hours. That's pretty good. And then there's pretty much the supported chains. I'm gonna be talking about the chains a bit in a second, because that's very important thing we have to understand. Because when they say chains, they don't really mean they usually talk about tokens over here. So when you like go into the assets tab in here, it only shows you like 8 different assets actually. So let me open up the actual coin list over here. So in matter of fact, in terms of the interface in the thing, there are Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, the old BNB BEP2, which is going to be that's going to be they're closing it down. BNB BIP20, Polygon, Tron, and Arbitrum. Those are the ones that you're going to be seeing in the actual interface. But here on this screen, you can basically look into a lot of the assets. I think there's a lot of the major ones. I think most people just want to have coins on Ethereum, Base, and Bitcoin. Probably that's where you're going to be mostly doing interactions. If you're not a DeFi user, you're just going to be caring about your Bitcoin. Then it doesn't really matter what assets are being supported here. I think XRP, Litecoin, you want to have the top 20 coins. Is Doge here? I think it should be. Yeah, it is. So there's a multitude of different coins. So let's talk about the actual application here. So in terms of, the interface, it's not too bad. There's a couple of different functionalities here. Obviously, you can choose to receive different currencies. Here, you also have the ability to add things like Doge. And so they are not all natively supported here. And you can just click the plus sign and basically it will prompt out, you do the prompt inside the actual device to approve to create a Doge wallet inside the thing. So that's why they were not showing up earlier on my screen, because they were not manually added here. So it's kind of like automatically supporting BNB, as Binance is one of the people who funded SafePal in the beginning. And then obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Arbitrum, Polygon, but there's like all the other assets can be basically added in on retrospectively throughout the asset list. But there doesn't seem to be any forms of like staking capabilities on the actual wallet. So here we have maybe like trading and stuff like that. Okay, there we actually have staking for TRX. So I presume that there's a lot of different DeFi functionalities here. So I presume that Cardano, Tron, and all these other staking assets can be staked out throughout the thing, whatever it's Solana or something else. So that's pretty good. There's also an option to basically buy crypto automatically in the application throughout bank transfers, credit cards, and stuff like that. So a couple of different options to basically accumulate money into the wallet directly through your fiat. And then there's also some earning capabilities here for yields. Oh, 90% for USDT. Not too bad, actually. But this is actually to Binance. So obviously they are working with Binance. There's also a market button, which basically kind of shows you what is going on. There is also NFT support, to my understanding, somewhere in the wallets. So that should be in the application. You obviously can't view them on the device itself. So overall, like, the app is pretty good. It's pretty easy to use, and obviously it supports multitude of different assets, but you have to manually add them once you first time set up the actual application. So that may take a bit of time, but it is what it is. Now, in terms of like what negatives do I have about the SafePal wallet? So one of the things about is the actual updating. So in order to update the actual SafePal wallet, you have to basically go into their website, and somewhere here basically there's a firmware page where it takes you into downloading the patches. Then by USB cable you connect your device into your computer, and then you drag that update file into the folder. And then this is how you basically then you go into the settings on the actual device, and then you start out the installation for the patch. So that is I'm not gonna lie, I would want to have, obviously it's most secure way to do this, interact with this way, but it's not the most convenient and fastest way to patch it. Most of the time you don't even need to update the firmware on these things, and in some ways it might be even more secure that way not to actually engage in updating these things. And you don't usually even need that capability. It might be something very specific that you might have want to have this capability for. So overall, all things considered, it is a pretty lightweight wallet. It is very affordable, and obviously, if you want to be even go even cheaper, you do have the option to get the S1 hardware wallet as well, which is only like $50. So that is even cheaper wallet to use. It seems to be also a bit heavier and a bit more sizier than this one, and it might be because of that might be harder to lose, or so that's actually pretty nice in my opinion. Now, obviously, you can find my specific my affiliate links down below. You supporting my work if you happen to purchase this specific wallet. If you want a recommendation for another wallet that is a bit more on the premium price, you can also check out my actual wallet playlist where I have reviewed basically almost many of the other wallets in the space that are currently available, in case you want some other opinions. But thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more reviews on the channel, and I will be seeing you guys next time. Cheers.